Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. I have a special guest on for us today. I got Coach Josh Baca. He's been my football coach at Manal School for 4 years now. But I'm done talking here. Let me go ahead and let him introduce himself. Coach, how you doing?
Great, Cody. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's an honor to have you. I'm happy that you were able to come on and I can ask you a couple questions. So tonight, for the most part, we're going to be talking, like I said, about football, but really going to put an emphasis on 8-man football and that kind of community that we were both a part of. Does that sound all right with you, Coach?
Sounds great.
Cool. All right, so to get started, I want to go ahead and talk to you just about the basics a little bit. So what are some of the cultural differences between 8-man football and 11-man football?
As far as cultural differences go, it's a little tough to tell the difference between 8-man and 11-man. 8-man football is really similar to 11-man football. It's not like 6-man football. 6-man football is quite a different animal. So 8-man football just really requires you to be able to rely on your teammates and really requires you to stick up for your teammates. So between 8-man and 11-man football, I really feel like there's not much difference in overall culture.
Okay, great. And see, that's something that I think that we're going to get into here. My second question is, because 8-man football can be correlated with smaller teams sometimes, and 11-man football, usually if you're going to play, you're going to have somewhat of a bigger team commonly, not always, of course. And in my coach's case, that's not. I guess it's not the case in your situation, Coach. But so I guess the next question I want to get into is about bigger and smaller teams, and it's what are some of the values that you believe are instilled into players who play football on a small team rather than football on a big team?
I think the values in general, overall, are about the same. It's about teamwork. It's about loyalty. It's about working hard and sacrifice. And I think that goes for all levels of football, whether we're talking small school 8-man football or you're talking, the big 5, 6A schools with hundreds of kids on the team. But if we were going to differentiate between the two, I suppose I would say that when you're playing for more of a smaller school team, that the entire team is all together, as opposed to a bigger school where it's a little bit more divided. Maybe the defense is hangs out with the defense, the offense hangs out with the offense, or the linemen hang out with each other, something like that. In a small school, kind of everyone hangs out with each other.
Okay, that makes sense. I guess that's a good point. All right, so next I kind of want to move into a little bit of an area that I don't know much about, because you as a coach have to have communication between you and your coaching staff and things of that sort. So, what kind of community have you built, and what do you guys do to keep up a community as coaches and work together to build?
I think there's a few things that we do to maintain our community. One is we do have lunch or dinner meetings often and just talk about the team, talk about what we can do better. And other things, we go to the gym and we work out together. And then we just get together sometimes on the weekends, even if it's not about football, just to hang out and, kind of do whatever, right? I think it's good to have build good rapport with all your coaches, not only the coaches that you're working with directly, like on a football team, but other coaches, like of the basketball teams, the track coaches, all that as well. And I think, building that kind of community, you all learn from each other. And then, the program, the school as a whole becomes better because of it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, so a follow-up question to that would be, there's a lot of aspects to every single team and a community as a whole. We have the parents, we have the players, we have the students, we have the coaches, as we already mentioned. So, how do you guys all work? How does that all work together in harmony to build a good community and to build good culture?
That's something that I've kind of struggled with. This is going to be my 5th year coaching this year, if the season happens. But the community part and getting everyone involved tends to be kind of difficult at the school we're at. It's an international school. A lot of people know nothing about football. A lot of our players know nothing about football before they join the team.
Right.
And so it's really difficult to really get that football culture going and to spread the word. But we do have a lot of dedicated parents that come to every game, that are driving hundreds of miles sometimes to go watch us play and to support us. And I think this last year we really started to really get the community more involved. And I think, with the community more involved, I think it really worked out well with our players, and we ended up going undefeated in the regular season. And I think that's in large part due to the community involvement.
Yeah, and as a player on that team, I'd have to agree that with that kind of momentum of having everybody involved, it really helped the momentum of the team as a whole. Cool. So the last question I want to hit on real quick, Coach, is, you've obviously seen your fair share of 8-man football teams. What is some of the differences you might notice between different teams that play 8-man football?
Well, in New Mexico, it's such a big state, so you can see major differences in the types of plays, defenses, offenses people run depending on what part of the state you're playing in.
Right.
If we're playing in the northwest part of the state, we have a completely different type of 8-man football than if we go play in the southeast. So, it takes a little bit of, scouting, a little bit of work on that to be able to compete with both sides, but I do enjoy the challenge.
Nice, Coach. That's good to hear. Well, Coach, I thank you so much for being on tonight. It's been an honor having you on the show. I think the audience has sure appreciate it. And, we just thank you so much, Coach. It's good having you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Cody.
Yeah.